Hey guys, welcome to this week's Music Monday. So after making a guitar video, I think it was last week, for Hey Soul Sister, I realised that a couple of you guys who might have wanted to do it might not actually know anything about the guitar at all, which makes it really hard to just suddenly start playing. So I thought that today I would do a much more basic guitar tutorial that starts from a I have a guitar and I don't even know how to pick it up sort of standpoint. So hoping you guys are ready to start. If any of you know a bit about the guitar already and just want to do the little bit of a song that I'm planning on doing later, it is very easy because I wanted to make this video really beginner friendly, but I'll put a timestamp on the screen for any of you guys who have done some guitar before and just want to play a bit of the song. So yeah, let's start. So this should be your guitar. It should look relatively similar to this one. If it's electric, of course, you should plug it in, but most of them I'm assuming will be acoustic. And the biggest problem with this is listen to what I say and not what I'm doing, because you're gonna see probably a reversed image of me. So this is my left hand, even though it looks right on the screen. So you're gonna pick up the guitar with your left hand around the neck. This right here is the neck, because it looks like the neck of it. This is the body, and this is the head. So it's kind of like a little person. So I want you to pick it up by the neck. We never tend to pick it up anywhere else because if I pick it up here, it's not very stable. So the neck is like, it keeps it upright. This is a strap. I don't know if any of yours will have straps on it, but if not, you don't really need to worry about it. It's so that you can play it while you're standing up because you can carry it on you. But if you do, just put it over your head and let it just drop down behind you so you can put it on your right knee. The guitar always goes on your right knee, not your left. So you should have your arm, your elbow just kind of, should quite comfortably fit on up here, or depending on how tall you are, it should lean on the guitar. I like crossing my legs, you don't need to do that, but it must always be on your right legs. And so if any of you guys have picks are these little things. Don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but they're like these little things. Ooh. Getting in camera again. They're like these little things which are, they're for strumming. They help you out when you're strumming. So if you guys have one of these, you hold it. So give me a thumbs up. So a proper thumbs up, and then open out your hand a little bit like this. And then you put the pick in between the first joint of your first finger, and then you move it back into a thumbs up, and you put it like this. I'm going to come over to the camera, and I'll show you guys a little bit better than that. So if I come over here, see, I give you a thumbs up, and I'm going to open it out a little bit, and here we can see on my hand is this little first joint, and I put it down there. And I normally do it facing, I don't know, I guess you would want it facing left, which is my left. And then we move it back, and our thumb should go down and along it. So along this side at the top. So you should be holding it. Ooh, let's see if I can get this on the camera. Like this. So when you're strumming, it's easy to do this. If you don't have a pick, get your two fingers. This is harder if you've not got nails, but if you've got nails, you can put your two nails together and it makes a little bit of a pick. Don't know if you can see that, like this. It makes a pick if you put your nails perfectly together and press the tops of your fingers together. So hoping you guys either have a pick or are ready with your fingers. We then, remember the guitar goes on your right knee, and you hold the neck in your left hand, and your right arm leans on the guitar, so that you don't need to move your entire arm when you're strumming. You just move this bottom part from your elbow downwards. So it comes from your elbow, not from your shoulder. And we're going to so the way we do this is there are 6 strings on the guitar, and yours may be out of tune right now. So I would suggest, even though I'll probably link a better video on how to tune in the description, if you've got a tuner, you put the tuner on, and you play the notes, and it should tell you what strings should be, and I'll put on screen what your strings should what notes they should all be. But if not, if you need help, I would just say ask your parents, and they can either know how to do it or look up a YouTube video, because It's one of those things that's easy once you know how to do it, but before then it can be quite hard. Because you turn these little keys and knobs at the top, and they're what makes the strings the right tightness so that it vibrates at the note you want it to be. So, hoping you guys have now got it in tune. I'll link some videos in the description because this video would take like another 20 minutes if I was trying to teach you from scratch how to tune it with and without a tuner. So I'm going to put those in the description. And you have 6 strings. The one closest to you is string 1, and the one furthest away from, like, the one at the top, let's go with that. The one at the top is string 1 and the one at the bottom is string 6. And they're the same note, they're both an E. But, so then we go down, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going down the strings. So if I say go to string 3, start at the top, 1, 2, 3, and you count down. So the other thing you have to pay attention to is the fact there are frets. And frets are the little lines that go down the neck of the guitar. And even though I might say fret 1, I don't actually mean for you to put your finger on the fret, on the little line. It means you kind of count the spaces in between the frets more than you count the frets themselves. So if I say fret 1, find the first line going down and then go above it. If I say find the third, count down to the 3rd fret and then go above it. You never like go down when you find the right like fret. You always go up a little bit into the space between that one and the one before it. So if you have a look here, I'm going to come over a bit. You can see how this is fret 1, this is fret 2, fret 3, 4, 5, and going down, and they get smaller and smaller as you get towards the bottom. So this is a fret here, you don't put your fingers there, okay? So I'm going to start off. I decided that the song that I was going to be like using, it's not the hardest, it's going to be the Lazy Song by Bruno Mars, because it's only got 3 chords for most of it, so there's a couple of bits that you won't be able to do, but you'll be able to do the chorus and the verses. So we're going to learn 3 different chords today, that's it, and you can have some time to practice it. And then if you literally just play them in that order really slowly, you should be able to sing along with it. So let's start off. The first chord we're going to do is we're going to do a G chord. So remember what I said about frets? We're going to go to the 2nd fret. And remember, we're counting the spaces and not the lines. And I want you to put your first finger, which is your pointing finger, on the 2nd string, 2nd fret. Okay? So it should look like this. And then we're going to take our middle finger, and our middle finger is going to go on the 3rd fret, 1st string. And then our ring finger, which is like your 3rd finger, is going to go on the 6th string, that's the one at the bottom, on the 3rd fret. And it might feel really weird to put your fingers in this position, and if you're finding it really hard, you can always you could always get rid of the tops, the one on the 1st string. So if I come over and show you, this is a G chord. But if you're struggling with that, you could always get rid of this string and then it might be a little bit easier for you. You just have to remember not to play the top one anymore. So if you are getting rid of the finger there, you can't play the top string anymore and you can only play from 2 downwards. But if you're good with this, it'll be much better for you in the long run if you can learn to put your middle finger on the top string. Or you can do this little one down here with your pinky if you find that easier. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next one. And yes, I am doing this balancing on one leg, and yes, it is difficult. So yeah, the next chord we're going to do is, I think it's a C. Oh no, it's a D next, so we're going to do a D. So we're going to put our 1st finger, that's like our pointing finger, on the 4th string, 2nd fret, there, if you guys can see. Then your middle finger goes on the 6th string, 2nd fret, which is where you were. And then your 3rd finger goes on the 3rd fret, 5th string, like this. And for this one, you only play the bottom 4 strings, like that. I'm hoping you guys are okay. Remember the G that we did? Like that. And then the other one was the D, which is like this. I remember with that one, we only play the bottom 4 strings. Okay? So do you guys, how about just do practice it 4 times. I want you to go from here to here 4 times. And if you can do it 4 times in a row, then come back, okay? So I'll give you guys a minute. So I'm hoping you guys got that and did a bit of practice of that. So now we're going to do the final chord that we're going to do today, and that's a C. So we're going to take our first finger and put it on the 1st fret, 5th string. Then our middle finger is going to go on the 2nd fret, 3rd string. And then our ring finger is going to go on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. So it should look like this sort of pattern. And I think yeah, for this one you only play 5 strings, so don't play the top string for a C. Like that. But if you do, it doesn't do much difference, so don't worry about it too much if that's confusing you. So there are 3 chords. We've got a G, which we play with all of the strings. Then we've got a D, which we play with 4 of the strings. And then we've got a C, which we play with 5 of the strings. And I'm just going to give you guys a chance to look at what I'm doing. So the way, remember how I said you hold the pick, or how you do it with your fingers if you're doing it like this? You just go from the top string and you go. And we're just going to do some down strums today because I don't want to make it too difficult. So if you have a pick, you do the exact same thing. You hold it like this. Just try doing a bit of a going up and down. And if you're doing it with your fingers, it's the same thing. But of course it is a little bit harder with your fingers because you're trying not to get your actual finger caught. So I'm hoping that's okay with you guys. All we're going to do today is down strums. So you get to go from the top to the bottom, then we lift it over to the top, down to the bottom. But of course you don't need to do a giant circle, just try not to play any chords on the way up. Or if we're doing it with our fingers, like that, okay? So let's go through those chords one more time. Pause it so you can get into it each time. We're going to start off with our G, and then we're going to go to a D. Remember, only play that with 4 strings. And then we're going to go to a C. And we only play 5 strings, ignoring the top one. So I'm hoping you guys are okay with that. The task I'm going to set for you just for a couple of minutes to make sure you get it a little bit better is I want you to be able to play the sequence. A sequence is kind of like, it's like being able to do something in a pattern. So the pattern I've given you is G, D, C. That's your pattern. I want you to be able to do that pattern 3 times in a row completely correctly without playing it wrong. And when you can play it 3 times in a row right, then come back and we'll carry on with the next section. So I'm hoping that went okay for you guys. And now we're going to move on to playing hopefully a little bit of the song if possible. And to do that, we're going to start off with our G. It is the exact same chords you just learned in the exact same order, but we're just going to add the first verse, and it'll probably be quite low. So if you want to sing an octave up, you can. Today I don't feel like doing anything. It is quite low. I just wanna lay in my bed. It is really low. But I'm hoping you guys kind of heard what I was doing there. So you play a chord. So one of the chords is on today, the next one is on like, and then the next one is anything. Like that, okay? Today I don't feel like doing anything. Like that. Now that's pretty much it. So for the rest of the song, you just kind of play, you kind of get a feel for when the chord should be. So in the next line it's, I just wanna lay in my bed. Like that. So you pretty much play it on the first word of each line, then it's da 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 da, and then the next on the 5th syllable you play it again. So it kind of works like that. So the last thing I'm gonna cover this video is this thing, and this thing right here is, I don't know, it looks kind of weird. It's called a capo, and capos are used on guitars to, you know how I said these tuners at the top, they help you get the string to the right tightness to play the note you want. Well, a capo is kind of a way of tricking it, so that instead of having to retune the guitar, you just literally put on these little pieces of metal, and it'll make the guitar think, well, it'll make it almost like you tuned the top differently. So if, for this song, I don't know where it goes, I think it goes on fret, 4th fret. So as we said, the frets go down 2, 3, 4. And if you do have a capo lying around, it is really useful for this song, because this song, as you heard when I was singing it, is incredibly low and sounds a bit silly. So go down to the 4th fret, and then instead of putting your finger in the middle of the fret, I want you to put the capo, I know it's really hard to like squeeze it, I want you to put the capo as close to like the bottom of the fret as possible. So if I put it in the middle here, it isn't quite as right. You'll know you've got it right when it's like, it should be almost touching the fret below it. Okay? So if I was going to do the same chords up here, because this means it's easier to sing, I know your fingers will be slightly closer together, but you do it in the same frets. So it should be like you're just literally moving it down, and then it should be easier to sing. Today I don't feel like doing anything, I just wanna lay in my bed, like that. So if you do have a capo, it would be really useful, because you'll then should be able to sing it well. And if you put the capo on, you should be able to play it with the actual song as well now. So if I played the real song, these are like the correct chords, whereas up there, they weren't the right chords to play along with the actual track. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this lesson. I just wanted to like do a slightly easier guitar lesson so that any of you guys who hadn't done it before can understand a bit better. And now if you guys did enjoy this and you enjoyed learning a bit more about the guitar, go back to, I think last week was week 5 or maybe week 4, go back to last week's Music Monday and you could learn a completely different guitar song as well. Now you know a little bit more. So yeah, your like kind of task for this week is, if you did manage to play this, or you managed to even learn how to hold the guitar or anything else, send an email to ftytvideos@gmail.com with a video or a photograph, and I'll be happy to give you guys a reply. So yeah, I'm hoping you all enjoyed that, and I will see you next week for next week's Music Monday.